Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with the co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain community watching us live on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, wherever you might be tuning in from, and the one viewer over on Twitch. That's right. That's you. We're talking about you. Today, it's going to be great. We want to talk about the real truth, the surprising truth behind all those big crypto giants like Shiba Inu and XRP. You know what we're talking about. And we are also going to have this major announcement today. Has to do with a little thing called NFTs. We got xSPECTAR and an official launch partner, which is the badass Yeti. So we're excited to talk about that. And we might even talk about that first. Then we're going to talk about all the exciting news that's happened over the past 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. Man, this past week has been crazy with crypto. So we want to get into that. So if you're ready to kick this thing off.
I'm ready to go, Jeff. Let's do it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain. And Jeff, welcome everybody. Drop where you're coming in from. And also, too, another cool thing that's happening is tomorrow night is going to be the 600th podcast episode of On the Chain. We are going to celebrate in fashion by giving away some badass Yetis. So if you have a badass Yeti, cool. If you haven't taken that plunge yet, show up tomorrow night, because what we will be doing is giving away a couple of those badass Yetis. So, and of course, one of the prerequisites is you have to have a Zaman, formerly Zum, X-A-M-A-N, Zaman wallet. And you have to, is it M-E-N, M-A-N? You know, formerly the Zum wallet, which was X-U-M-M. But if you have one of those, great. And what we are going to need during the show is we're going to actually need your wallet address. So just telling you that ahead of time that you need your wallet address. You'll pop that wallet address in there, and then we will send it to you. Right, Jeff? Isn't that cool? And also coming up, too, Jeff and I will be the MCs, also moderating a panel at the 2024 XRPL Gold Coast event this weekend only. There's a code, and we can put it in there, but there's a special code. There's only a couple gold passes left. I believe there's some more silvers, but it's, you know, it's that capacity here. So it's gold, Jerry. Remember that? That was great. Seinfeld episode for that guy was what a weirdo. It's gold, Jerry, gold. What was his name? Was
Gold.
he a dentist? Was that this dentist? It was somebody.
I'm trying to remember.
We could play it on here, but
is it Petty? Is that his name, or is no? I can't remember.
I remember. I remember the scene, but I don't remember like who he was in relationship. Anyway, let's not get off on a tangent. It is gold, but I do want to put this up here too, because this is pretty exciting news for for us and for also you out there in the badass Yeti world. But xSPECTAR, one of the coolest probably projects on the XRPL. Talk about a powerhouse move. We're ecstatic to reveal that the badass Yetis are joining forces with us as one of our official launch partners. Get ready for some epic collaborations. And there you go right there. They put a little video out here, but it's just, there's the xSPECTAR. This is it. This is the xSPECTAR world. And you can see this, how great that looks. And there's one of those little ash Yetis over there.
How cool that is.
Right? That's pretty cool too. And I'm going to load up, I'm going to load something up too. I'll load this video here and let's watch this,
all right. What do we got?
Does this work?
We got something. Whoa.
So there it is right there. Yeah, it's exciting, man.
It's insane.
So, yeah, it's a cool world. And the thing is, Jeff, we have to pick. We were like one of the very first adopters to buy the land.
We did.
And I heard the beach is already sold out.
And I think that's where we bought. Where did we buy the land?
You bought the land. We haven't chosen the land. We don't have any land. We just have a IOU.
We didn't choose our land yet?
No, haven't chosen anything. And we're not going to be on the beach, which is sad, but
I thought we chose the land. We're going to be up in the mountains somewhere. Be at the top of some peak, some mountain.
Some place where
Hard
it'd be very
to get
difficult to
to.
get to, and nobody will ever come and visit us. So
It'll be
great,
really, really
really
hard to find,
fantastic, man. You gotta love
hard to
that, right?
navigate. That's where we're gonna be.
That's right. In the Himalaya mountains and in the xSPECTAR world. So
Right.
that's where we're going to be.
It's
In some
perfect.
place it's very difficult to get to. And also, too, this was great, Jeff. I mean, I love this too, because we also got a massive shout out from Crypto Eddie here. Congratulations, Badass Yetis and xSPECTAR. Love the Badass Yeti coffee brand and the coffee. And look
Right.
at that right there. She also gave a shout out to our coffee, which
Sure.
if you would click on this link over here, you'd see right there is the coffee. And look at this right here. Let's do a yeah, man. Let's go ahead and throw that out there. But this coffee is good. I'm drinking right now. I'll tell you what I'm drinking today, Jeff. I am drinking the Obsidian
Obsidian
Bold.
Bold.
It's still, I even though I will get, usually my second cup will be Noir Symphony, but the Obsidian Bold is just, it's strong, man. It's got that good, powerful, and I drink it black and love it. That's the Italian darkest roast.
Badassery.
Noir Symphony is just the regular dark roast. Then we got the Mountain Mist, which is kind of like a mix between a medium and a dark, which is good too. It's a lot of people like that, and a lot of people were asking for like a breakfast blend. So you can see like that right there. There it is right there. The Brewed Awakening right there. Unleash your inner Yeti every morning with our invigorating breakfast blend. There you go. Brewed Awakening. And the reason for the cost is because this is absolutely roasted to order. Order comes in, gets roasted, goes out the next day. And very few people, Jeff and I actually thought we were one of them that had fresh beans. Even my wife was in Colombia recently, and she went right to the farm, right to the source, brought me back a bunch of bags. And on the back, they had the packaging date, and none of them were fresh. The best one was like 4 or 5 months old. So,
are there K-cups?
yes, Regan, we are. Yeah, we're going to launch the K cups. That's on tap, but we will launch K cups. But I will tell you something, Regan. If you're a K cup guy, we'll take this offline. But I can assure you that I use the refillables. I take the K cups. I use the plastic ones. I have a regular, the Italian, which I do on the weekends. Usually when I have a little more time and I'm not running and gunning. But I will do on the weekends. I will go ahead and put the the stovetop. The stove, that's still the best way.
Man, the stovetop is by far the best way. You know what? When we were in St. Augustine, when we went up for the race at the Airbnb we stayed at, they had the Keurig with the refillable K cup. And so I was refilling and using it, and it was so interesting. I'd never done that before other than when you had done it. And it's so easy.
Yeah,
It
you know
was
what's
shockingly easy.
Well, Jeff, when I go down that rabbit hole, I have to perfect it, like I did with the mate. Yerba mate, also aficionado on that. So I started out with not just a regular bombilla. I had to find the bombilla that was handcrafted in Germany, because they're the best craftspeople in the world, right? So I had to go there to get my bombilla. People are like, you got a German one? I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand. This bombilla blows it all. Anything you can get away at a bodega. Okay, this is
Crypto
the greatest
coin
stuff.
wants to hear about. He wants to hear about crypto.
That's great.
We're going to talk about.
Man.
Yeah,
stay tuned, Crypto Coin, because we'll get
getting ready.
We'll get into that. But you guys have to understand too that there's a lot of stuff that goes into this podcast, and coffee is part of what we love to talk about. And
yeah, we drink it. You drink it. Everybody drinks it.
We drink it.
Yeah. So we were just talking about the whole xSPECTAR verse and the developments that are going on right now all around, and we're seeing something a little bit, I don't want to say unprecedented, but unprecedented for the past year plus. Outside of this, I'm looking at the crypto markets, Chip, and I'm seeing these massive gains all of a sudden, like across the board, right? It just
Bitcoin
seems like
king, man.
Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin's on its way to 70,000. We were just talking about can it hit all-time highs when it was in the 50,000 range. All of a sudden, it's getting ready to go on the way to 70. Once it hits 70, where does it go from there? It just, then the whole market is now coming up with it. XRP all of a sudden seems to have some momentum too, as it crossed this 64 cent, 65 cent threshold.
Yeah, it's kind of taken a little bit of I guess a little bit of a bounce, but honestly, it doesn't move very much. And people are like, is this it? Is this liftoff? I'm like, when it breaks $2-3, that'll be liftoff, okay? But I don't really consider 63 cents, 64. I don't know what it, I think it was 63. What is it now, Jeff? What's the current?
It's sitting at 64 cents right now, almost 65.
Okay, well,
It's down.
speaking of
It's down a
Deon,
percent, so it already hit it probably hit the 65 mark. But if you look at it, and overall, you take something of that asset range, and if you have a massive spike, it's steadily. The history of XRP just seems to be, it's always just kind of like, it's like the turtle in the race, right? It's always just like slow and steady. When it starts making its gains, it's going to make its gains. But it's going to have to take on a whole new momentum. What has been exciting over the past week, which this is, going also to these all-time highs, which are some of these meme coins. And if you look at the Shiba, Shiba Inu was sitting around, had 5 zeros and a 7 not that long ago, and then it finally hit the 1,000 range. And now what we've seen just in like the past 24, 48 hours, it's just some big numbers. Look at that 65% increase over the past 24. And we're looking at this trade volume. Look at the 24-hour trade volume sitting at 6.2 billion. Which is just massive. Obviously, it has a massive circulating supply. Its height at time, I think, was the 4 zeros and an 8, 4 zeros and a 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, in its all-time high. Can it, as Bitcoin moves and the market's moving, the meme coin, everything's moving, can Shiba Inu erase another zero over here and all of a sudden turn? And it's amazing when you see some of these things that are going on. There you go. It's like $28. Yeah, I mean, it's just, but I look at this, and with Shiba Inu, what's interesting about this one specifically, Chip, is that it came out originally just as a meme coin and now seems to be building infrastructure behind it, and it kind of goes into what, they have the Shiba verse, or whatever their verse is called. But there's just lots and lots of things. The Shibarium, that's what it is, the Shibarium.
I forget they talk about the Shibarium all the time.
We talk about the Shibarium. I don't know.
Shibarium,
kind of.
Jeff. Well, the meme
Yeah.
coins are, listen, I mean, like, a lot of meme coins started out, even Doge, is going to get some utility.
Doge.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see that. Yeah, you put something out there and it starts out, and look, things sort of build sometimes. I mean, you look at Ethereum, their goal was get it out as fast as possible and then try to fix it 6 or 8 years later. Try to like, first the market, right? You got to go to market. You got to get it out there. You have to be able to sell it. But you look at Ethereum's going on a nice run as well. So you got Ethereum going out there, Bitcoin making a dash. And I said 100,000 Bitcoin. I remember I put a post on X and people are like, "You're crazy." I'm like, dude, by the end of 2024, with the spot, with how it's going, are you kidding me? Come on, look at that right there.
Yeah.
What was it? 4,400 was the all-time high, or 46 or something like that. It's on its way. It's on its way. I mean, can you imagine if you
4,600 and its all-time high, man?
Look at the people back in the day that bought it for $100 a pop. Remember, it was like $99, $90. But you probably thought, "Oh, that's a lot of money back then." But look at it now; it's crazy.
This was the eclipse right there, right? When everything was going parabolic at the end of 17, and Bitcoin hit 20,000. Ethereum was hitting 1,000, over 1,000 back then, right? And then obviously everything went over that little precipice, and it went back down into that $100 range, and then kind of stuck out in the hundreds for the next couple years. And this is right around this time, December 17th, 2020, when the markets were starting to see some notable increases, including XRP, if you remember. Right, we started seeing these notable increases, but then something happened in that December timeframe of 2020 that wasn't very pleasant. Had something to do with the SEC, and then as the markets were all trending upwards, and then we saw some. But here, it hit its all-time high in 2021, and guess what? Didn't hit its all-time high in 2021. Chip,
I'm going to go with XRP.
Hey, you get it. What is XRP? I'll take XRP for 100.
Yeah, what is XRP for 100, please? Yeah, I mean, but even back then, you're like, $100. I don't know if I'm going to go in Ethereum. And listen, here on the chain, we're a blockchain, and coin agnostic. Listen, I don't know. You can have your favorites, and everyone's free to choose. But listen, we root for the entire market. And when Bitcoin is pumping, and also too, Bitcoin doesn't really follow a lot of the traditional rules. Like this breakout is very different. And Blockchain Backer was bringing some attention to it, saying that traditionally what we've seen is we've seen a mirror about what's happening in the stock market and kind of like what's happening in Bitcoin. There's clear breakout right now. So we're kind of in uncharted territory. And the other thing that's kind of weird, even though some of the altcoins are pumping, not like other bull runs, right? Where it was a pretty steady, where you'd have the Bitcoin rising and then you had the alts kind of coming up behind it. And this one's been kind of a little bit different. And everything's sort of pumping here and there, but it's not the volume that we've seen in previous runs. So that's that's unique in itself right there.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I like that. Yep.
So also I wanted to, something else is, speaking of ETH, what's going on over there is that there was the XRPL zone over in Denver, ETH Denver. They had a big conference this week, David Schwarz was there, some other players were there as well, like XRP.cafe. But it was cool that, with interoperability coming and the ability to pull smart chains back over, there's some good stuff coming up. Oops, sorry about that.
What was that?
That was the wrong screen. That's something I want to show later. But this is what I want to show now. The problem is I got to stop sharing one thing. But this is Phil Quote. I don't know if you say Quote or whatever, but he put together this app called the Easy app, and that's right here, Easy A.
Easy.
Discover your path to Web3. Learn about the world's leading blockchains right from your phone. Cool little app, in depth, structured. Talks about all the cool projects that are going on right there. Read less, build more. Devs on Easy. So it's kind of a cool thing for devs. He's also an attorney. You can see you can support different projects over there, some hackathons. And he sat down in a fireside chat with David Schwarz, and blockchain legend. Says 20 years before Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, he earned his first patent for a distributed computer network. In 2012, David Schwarz co-authored or co-created the XRPL, later joining forces to lead Ripple. And in 2018, Forbes called him its $1 trillion man. His name, of course, David Schwarz, otherwise known as Joel Katz, over there on X. And today he opened up the XRP Ledger Zone in Denver with him in the seminal fireside chat. We talked about blockchain, AI, real-world assets, DID, and much more. An absolutely eye-opening 40 minutes of visionary thinking from one of the earliest people in blockchain and distributed networks. Truly inspiring with a ton of key takeaways. My biggest takeaway, this is interesting, Jeff. In life, beware of false choices.
Mm-hmm.
You're presented with a choice between two things. It's often not an either or, but rather ask, why can't I have both? Understanding this can make all the difference. And, it's interesting when we just talked about when it comes to coins that you invest in. Oh, I'm going to go with this one. Why can't it be both? And so to everyone who came, I hope you enjoyed the day. To everyone else, screw you. No, he said, recording will be out soon. And I don't know where the recording is going to be. I assume it'll be somewhere, but this was the talk right here. It was a full house there. Fireside chat, shaping the future of the XRP ledger. Mm-hmm. You can see, there he is right there. The man, the myth, the legend.
The legend.
So that was pretty awesome to see him doing his thing. But I would love to see the recording. Maybe we can pull out some bits of it to kind of chat about. We're not going to play 40 minutes of it, but wouldn't it be nice to just kind of like, it's nice to hear about it, but why don't they? Where's the video, man? Does anybody knows what the video is? Please direct us. I've looked for it. I couldn't find it.
Somebody get it for us, please.
That was from ETH Denver last year, Jeff.
That's right.
That's the funniest thing is that was ETH. So speaking of David Schwarz, now check this out. This guy's driving down the road in San Francisco, and all of a sudden he sees a guy that kind of looks like David Schwarz. And, well, let's just take a look.
No way. What's up, everyone? This is Joel Katz. We're literally chasing him down right now. We had to do a quick U-turn around the middle of the street. This is him in the flesh.
They're chasing him down.
We got to say, go Sologenic, go Corium. Joe Katz, what's up?
Oh my God.
He does not want to. What can I give?
I don't know what the Sologenic shout out is, but I mean,
I don't know.
I think he's from Sologenic or something. I don't know.
Maybe that could be. That's probably what it was.
Jeff, what do you notice about this video when you watch it? Do you watch it? Do you notice anything at all? I see he's riding in the street. And there's a sidewalk, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. They're about to run him over.
And I see that this guy's very annoyed because the first chance he gets, he's boom. He's like he gets around. You know, he gets around him. So and then he goes ahead and takes the sidewalk because it's all roped off over there. So he doesn't have a choice, right? But I noticed something, Jeff. Now, you know, being a former skateboarder and back in the day, and you know, somebody who rides these scooters when they first came out, and every conference I went to, I'd get the scooters, I'd jump curbs, I'd do tricks with them. I had the greatest time, and I wiped out a couple times too. But I noticed one thing, that David Schwarz was never a skateboarder. He was never a skateboarder. And if you want to wipe out on these things and really hurt yourself, this foot position right here will get you killed on one of these. And this is how you can spot a rank amateur right here. Okay.
Oh yeah.
When you have your feet this way, and first of all, they barely fit because of if you think of it as a skateboard, you want your feet to be this way. You want it to be sideways and holding on. Right. You have more control.
Even on one of those scooters.
Yeah, even on one of those scooters.
Yeah.
This is how you can tell. You don't put
you put one foot behind the other.
Problem is you can't balance this way like on a scooter.
Yeah, you'd be on. Yeah,
you're going over top of it. And I've seen so many people wipe out because they have the wrong foot position. Guys that know how to ride these scooters ride it like a skateboard. You turn both your feet one way. That way you got you can balance better on the board rather than this. And I'm like, this guy's going to wipe out at some point.
Well, especially as they're pulling up to him and he's trying to go and they're going to, distract him. So he's looking over at them. And that's like the first moment you're going to wipe out as soon as you turn your body in that kind of a position. That's terrifying.
It looks like a Lime scooter, right? And so here he is just going down the road, just la, 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 la,
here, not anymore.
Taking the public, look at, there's a shot. Where's the shot? There he is. But I was like, dude, that's not how you ride a scooter, bro. That's not how to do it. Just saying.
It's interesting. Those scooters, remember, they were all over the place down here. Now there's zero. They're gone.
Well, they still, I think they still have them.
I think they banned them here.
They were great. Last time I rode them, I was in San Diego, and man, what's funny is they have them gated in the city because I had it on full throttle. And once I got a little bit out of where the convention center was, where they were holding this conference, dude, this thing took off. It was like somebody just just like some rocket booster, and all of a sudden I was flying, and I was like, whoa! I almost wiped out because I had it on full, and all of a sudden, yeah, good advice. Yeah, holy shit! It was crazy, and but there he is flying down the road. I wish we would have got a better video, but it's kind of hard to drive and shoot that out the window.
That's right.
So there you
Interesting stuff. There's David Schwarz on his scooter over there at ETH Denver. So that was exciting. Hey, check this out, Chip. So I'm looking at the news here, right? Big shout out to those over there on Rumble on the live chat. Go ahead. If you guys are over there watching on Rumble, there's a bunch of you over there. Go ahead and chat. Be really cool to see some chat, some conversation going on over here. Bitcoin sitting at 62,000. Chip, I pulled this up only because, the Bloomberg Strategist, there's all these strategists that show up, but Bloomberg Strategist sees Bitcoin as a global alternative currency. El Salvador is proving it. We see, all sorts of things that are changing. Argentina is going to prove it, but he's warning that the stock market drawdown could impact BTC. So here's the senior commodity strategist, Mike McGlone, is saying that Bitcoin has become an alternative currency on a global basis, noting that the world's going towards intangible assets, and Bitcoin is the most significant in the cryptos. That's his thought process. However, the strategists warn that as Bitcoin price approaches 70, here we're sitting at 62. I wonder if we're going to get to 70 next week. A key test for the crypto may come when the U.S. stock market has a drawdown. So that's
here's what they're not considering. Well, what they're not considering, Jeff, is the fact that the stock market isn't the best place to put, to bet on right now, right? Companies are doing massive layoffs. Companies are doing mass consolidation. They're reducing budgets, right? There's a lot of that we're seeing in that space. And if you want to see what's going to happen to the stock market, look at Jeff Bezos. Look at everybody is selling their stock. And you know what Bezos put his money into? Bitcoin. Why? It's a lot safer bet. We have a target. We know 68,000 was, it's going to go there, but it holds the value a little stronger and better. You look at Bukele, the president of El Salvador, and you look at, they were calling him crazy because he was basically mining and
Michael
just hodling Bitcoin. And his green was like around, his green target was 31, 32. He's doubled that. Now he looks like a visionary hero. And Saylor that says, like if you're in Bitcoin club, you do not sell your Bitcoin. You don't sell your Bitcoin. Well, you don't, because you're a billionaire. Okay, that's cool. But for regular folk who bought in at like when it went down to 15 and they bought a couple at 15 and then it went up to 60, you might want to sell it, and it draws back down, you get back in. But he's never going to sell it. He's a $1 billion man. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job, and people called him crazy. And like, you know what? I have a lot of respect for somebody like Saylor, because he put his money where his mouth is, right? He bet it all on Bitcoin. A few people have the cojones to do that, man.
That's it.
You know what I mean? It's like a few
impressive.
people, he did it, and people yelled him crazy, and all of a sudden they're like, there's not much chatter about him anymore. You notice that everybody's kind of like, well, I mean, okay, well, he got lucky. No, he didn't get lucky. He just understands market forces. And also too, when the stock market plunges, I mean, all the big guys, look at Zuck. Zuck is selling all his stock. Bezos is selling his stock. And people are like, I wonder what's going on with the stock market. Well, if that's not an indicator for you, I don't know what is, okay? And I think the smart money comes out of the stock market on the sell-off and goes into Bitcoin. So I don't know. This is what blockchain backer was, which I'm excited. We're gonna be hanging out with him in Australia as well. But what I'm excited to see is that it's finally, the stock market had this correlation with Bitcoin, and now they're trying to draw this. But this might be different, Jeff, because of what the market forces, because of what's going on with economies around the world being challenged, because the GDPs are down, because inflation is high. Man, you want to put your money somewhere where it's going to be, to hedge some of that lost value.
Yep. This Dap and Da over here says, what's the easiest, quickest, safest way to buy Bitcoin for a newbie? And that's an interesting question, because if you look at all the different on-ramps, Uphold, Coinbase, if you want to do it more like a kind of a stock experience, you don't want to have to worry about any keys. You don't want to worry about anything. You can even go over to Robinhood and you can buy it on Robinhood. And, since it's all fractional, it's not like you have to buy an entire Bitcoin. You can do it on any of those exchanges. And then there's others. There's a lot of others, but Coinbase is easy. Coinbase is super easy. Robinhood is really easy, but you can't move it. You're buying and selling it over there because you actually don't own it. And then Uphold, also easy to get set up with. I would go to any of those. Kraken, Crypto.com, Gemini. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them out there. So a lot of options, but the most well-known chip, I think, would be Uphold or Coinbase, if that's the direction someone's going in.
Yeah, or like maybe I mean, I don't know. I don't know anybody who would go to Binance these days. Binance is a little bit shifty, but look what.
I guess it depends where you are in the world too.
Well, you have centralized exchange, but look what Coinbase. I mean, Coinbase has had so much time to fix the infrastructure. And someone put out a post on X and said, we're in a bull run when Coinbase goes down again.
It happens every single time. Every time, every bull run.
You have this historic rise with Bitcoin. And what are you going to do? You can't. Everyone's accounts were showing zero. People were flipping out. Like, oh my God, is this happening to everybody? And the way they addressed it was like, there seems to be some sort of a glitch. A glitch. Your account is showing zero balance. Your Bitcoin doesn't show up. Consequently, you can't sell it. The bottom line is that get your stuff off the exchanges, right? If you want to keep a little bit, keep stuff that you're okay with losing, right? But you want to make sure you put that on cold storage. Now, I think there needs to be something, and this is something we're going to talk about today too, but there is if you're on the Zaman app, there's a multi-sig app that's fantastic. So I actually I really love the Zaman app. It's super easy to use. Okay, it sits on your phone. A lot of people like that, don't like that, but with the multi-sig, it has even better protections. And the multi-sig app that was in beta has now been released, so everybody can use that. You can set that up. You can set rules around that. If you want to move something, you need somebody else's approval. So that to me is a next level step. When you do self-custody, you always have the potential risk of humanism. And what I mean by that is, sure, I wrote the seed phrase down 3, 4, 5 years ago. Sure, I have two. Well, I haven't really looked at it. I've been hodling, and oh my God. And I'll be honest with you, like, so I sometimes put stuff that I want to, like, I really want to put this somewhere that I'm going to remember where it is. And I put it in a secret, special place. It's so special and secret that I forget where it is. Okay.
And you exactly forget where it is.
This happened the other day. Like when I get my contacts for the year, I'll always pull one box and pull it out. So I know that if I accidentally run out, I have that extra box. I ran out. I'm like, where's the extra box? I know right. I put it, and I'm like frantically looking through because I'm like, I don't have any contacts anymore.
They're like, wait a minute, this was my extra box.
So you run that risk. I was like, well, maybe that wasn't the extra box. All one area, and I pulled one out, and I was like, this is so I know that I can't screw myself, right? Like, oh, I have one last box, and I'm like, maybe I didn't pull the box. Bottom line is that if you're going to self custody, you better have you better have your shit together. You better know that seed phrase. And suppose you live in a house, and suppose it's written on paper, and suppose it's in a safe, but the house burns to the ground. The safe, who knows? I mean, the thing is a lot of times with that, you might have a trusted friend, an aunt, an uncle, a parent, a grandparent.
Never know.
Where you keep it in their house, you keep that seed phrase in case that doesn't. A lot of people have the strategy where they like to keep little bits of amounts on different exchanges. So if one goes bad, but they could all go down at the same time. It could be some catastrophic event, but there has to be institutional for the non institutionalized, right? For the common man, so that we have a place that we can know and trust. It's also centralized, and the whole idea of becoming decentralized. So I don't want to hear. When I read these stories, it hurts me because if somebody lost their crypto and they didn't remember their seed phrase and something happened, look, we're human. Don't kill yourself and blame yourself about it, but just have a good strategy around it, because everyone's like, not your keys, not your crypto. Well, if you don't have your key and some human stuff falls into it, then what? You're going to sit there and beat yourself up like, dude, there's a massive bull run and I can't get into my cold storage wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do? It's like, so, think about it, put a lot of thought behind it, and make sure that your keys are safe and protected.
Protect them somehow. It's meme coin season, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what it is. So, Chip, it's interesting. There's a couple articles that you'd pulled up over here. One, be good to kind of get into it. Elon Musk suing Sam Altman. And then there's something else here going on where Hester Peirce is talking about how the regulators have been acting very strange lately.
Very strange lately. Why is she always the voice of reason? So the reason that now Elon Musk was one of the main people behind OpenAI, then he left it, but the whole idea is they had this pact around how they would limit AI and what they would do, so it didn't turn into a profit center, that it was more about humanity, and that kind of went out the window. So what I thought was pretty funny was Sam Altman, who runs obviously, remember he left and there's that big blowout, but he runs OpenAI, and there was an exchange between them. 2019, May 21st, 2019, he says, it's gross seeing so many root against Tesla, be the person on the side of the climate and innovation, not the person hoping to make money on puts. Okay. So also betting against Elon is historically a mistake, and the best product in the world usually wins. So that same day he commented, thanks, Sam.
Yeah, that was,
now fast forward
5 years ago.
5 years later, Sam goes back, finds that post, and he goes, anytime. And he just put that on there yesterday. He put that up yesterday, and it was like, okay, look, it's got 1.3 million.
5 years.
5 years later, he's like, yeah, anytime. Like, kind of like I was standing up for you. Now you're suing my ass. I thought it was kind of a funny
And why
kind
is
of a
he
funny
suing him? Where did that all come from?
because of the whole idea of wasn't supposed to be massive profit center. You got to pull up the thing, but that's what I thought it was about. Was it?
Right.
It was about where AI was going, where they were heading with that. He was just So it's not like he's suing him. I gotta know. I read a couple articles on. I don't know exactly what the deal is on that.
Right.
But I'm trying to pull up this. Where's this Zaman article? Because that's like right up our alley right now. Before we get into Zaman,
We
I
got
just really got
got all sorts of good stuff here.
I started talking about Zaman and Zum, but I want to put this one video here. This is I took part in an X Space with Aaron McDonald, who's the CEO co-founder of Futureverse and also the Root Network, and they're doing an amazing job. We're excited to meet him in person. But I want to play this little exchange because he really starts breaking down a little bit about. Hang on, so let me pull this. Here we go. Yeah.
You got it?
We'll start off with this tweet right here, and then we'll go into talking a little bit about this. There we go. So good to already put this out. Fantastic stuff as always. Gas token inside the Root network. It moves value. It's a block reward. It connects to the XRPL liquidity. It supports the XLS20 NFTs, the single largest collection in the world, runs full nodes. And then, so this was a little bit about it. And Aaron, now we're going to get Aaron back on the program. We're trying to get him back on the program to talk about how this all equates and how this, what this looks like when you remove that. And let's listen to this saying right here. But this is him talking about it.
XRP as the token, because I know you guys are using it. How is that involved in your ecosystem, and how does the use cases evolve around it?
Yeah, so XRP is the gas token inside of the Root network. So if any transaction that happens on the Root network uses XRP, and there's this new kind of terminology within the Ripple team and the leadership within that business called value moving transactions, and what that means is how is XRP being used to help move value around the world in any kind of value, any kind of use case. And so when someone moves a transaction on the Root network, it consumes XRP, and that means that XRP is being used to move value, irrespective of whether it's happening on mainnet or not. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that XRP is a block reward. So if you stake Root in the Root network, then you can earn XRP as a block reward for doing that. And then the next thing is we bridge to the XRPL mainnet ledger, and so you can bring in XRP from there, and we can also connect to liquidity inside of XRPL.
Huge.
Which is really important. It's one of the kind of fundamental reasons why we chose this ecosystem to partner with. And then on top of that, we also support the XLS20 standard natively on the Root network. And so you can use the XLS20 standard on the Root network to create NFTs that are compatible with XRPL. And lastly, we run infrastructure in the XRPL network. We run full nodes to connect our services to. So we're kind of connected to the ecosystem as well.
That is awesome. And by the way, speaking about the XLS20 part, you guys did mint the FIFA World AI Cup? Yeah, around 1.4 million, I think, NFTs, all on the XRP ledger, utilizing the ledger for your use case?
Over 4 million NFTs, actually.
No, so the FIFA, that's one that FIFA game via NFT. It's the single largest that's ever been created on the XRPL. Think about that. I mean, our first batch of Badass Yetis 589, the second one 1445. Think about that, 4 million. So this is an amazing something to pay attention to. Another key thing he mentioned, which was, and Jeff and I are both doing this, but staking on the Root network and earning block rewards in the form of XRP. Like, where else can you do that? It's phenomenal. So let's listen to the rest of this, but really excited about this and getting Aaron back on the show here to kind of dive in a little bit deeper and talk about it and really start having some more adoption from the XRPL community over here.
See? Yeah.
NFTs, actually.
Or 4, see? Yeah, that's amazing.
It's the single largest NFT collection in the world. and exists on XRPL because of Futureverse and the root network.
Awesome.
It's kind of now providing the opportunity, and I think Crypto Yeti kind of first said it when we started chatting with her, to show how XRP can be used in a whole variety of use cases, and to expose new communities who may never have interacted with XRPL or the XRP token, a way to onboard that might be less confrontational or more up their alley. We have every day people are coming and joining this ecosystem and being exposed now to XRP and the XRPL ecosystem through us and through mechanisms that they probably would never have engaged in, if they weren't engaging with us. And so it's a win-win for everyone.
That was really solid space, really solid commentary. I just want to give a quick shout out to Norseman. What is up, Norseman? Thank you for that support. Chip and Jeff, OGs of the crypto galaxy. We need to have a cartoon of you guys on Saturdays, traveling the space, ripping people, the system or the coins. That could be epic. That would be.
Yep. Like the way you think. I love that. You get up.
Be awesome.
The old days, you get up on Saturday morning and watch cartoons. It'd just be us, like people.
Big bowl of cereal.
Pretty soon, we're going to be able to do that with AI. We'll be able to create a cartoon series where Jeff and I can do funny antics, through the galaxy, hit the moon, find, discover things on the moon, and discover it's really made of cheese. That would be really weird, but I wanted to put this up too. So this is why, guys, we're trying to really, we'll bring you some more.
Pull that up too. That's awesome.
This is the Root Network, more than a blockchain. Root Network enables seamless user experience and asset interoperability across the open metaverse. And the thing is, when you're using gas, because a lot of stuff too was on ETH, but when you use XRP for gas, it's a hell of a lot better. There's a lot of stuff to look and read about, but the Root Network is like ties it all together. And then we have, did I have the Futureverse in here as well? There you go. Yeah. So there's the Futureverse over there. Revolutionary AI, metaverse technologies enable open, scalable, and they're kind of like the magic behind some other stuff out there, which is phenomenal. So I can't wait to have Aaron back on the program, Jeff.
Yep. If you scroll down, I was going to say, if you scroll into their entire ecosystem, this is their ecosystem right here.
Yeah, look at that. Think about it. Look at the people, and the FIFA is amazing. The Warner Music Group is a massive deal. They have this AI. Of course, they got the fluff. Now, we were gifted a party bear and they're swappables. And what I love about the way they think about NFTs is that they've got this brain. The brain has attributes that you then associated. But one of the cool things is that is revolutionary about their NFTs too, are the swappables. Like on the party bear, you can swap traits. Like I had the one that had the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket, the red jacket.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then, you can swap it with somebody else. So it's cool that it's because they're 3D and because you can break them down, you can take a different hat. You can now swap it with a hat. It kind of reminds me more of the gaming side. Remember, Jeff, you'd have a character in a game, in a first person shooter game, and then you could load it up with different attributes, guns, it's more along the line of bridging sort of NFTs to the gaming side. But cool stuff, man. Really awesome stuff. What do you want to go into next? You want to talk about
Hester Peirce. Let's dig into that a little bit. I
Hester
don't know
Peirce.
why she's talking about regulators. Why is she talking about how strange they're acting? I mean, they've been acting strange right from the beginning, but there's probably a reason.
Well, Peirce expressed frustration over delayed action on Bitcoin ETFs, but remained mum on the prospects of an Ethereum equivalent. It's like, you got to get through one first, but I get it. But I mean, what about why is a regulator even involved in this anyway? She expressed frustration over regulating by enforcement and based in the SEC for dragging its heels and approving the spot Bitcoin ETFs.
It's been going on for a couple of years.
The only reason they did was because a court order forced them to.
Obviously there was a political narrative behind it. So it wasn't some big secret as to why they were holding back on it. It would be nice if you would just say they were playing politics, with people's money and earning potentials. And that's really what it was all about. They were delaying the inevitable was going to come out. And I think, from her perspective, the tie-ups, and like you said, the only reason why Gary Gensler acted the way he did was because of the court order. And we're seeing this behind the scenes struggle or battle, for power and control over the crypto space. And they'll keep pushing it out down. They'll keep kicking the can down the road, regardless of how it impacts individual investors, regardless of how it impacts companies that are developing or innovating in the space. They don't care. It was all about the power struggle. Can the SEC gain a foothold? And I'm still trying to think, like, what would be Gary Gensler's end game other than, this is kind of his legacy, that he was the regulator in charge at that moment in time that took control of crypto for the SEC. And where does that bring him, for the rest of his career path? If he's looking for that kind of notoriety, but he's looking for his own personal power and those around him, whatever that infrastructure looks like, whoever's pulling the strings behind the scenes, it's that infrastructure that they're looking to enrich and transfer the power to. And again, that was regardless of how the impact was. So the fact that she says they're acting strange, I don't think they're acting strange. I think they're acting in self-interest. Despite the fact that that's not what they're supposed to be doing.
The whole thing is just, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But the thing about it is, Jeff, you nailed it in the very beginning of what you said. If she had come out and said they're playing politics, obviously Hester Peirce is a conservative. She's on the red team. She was the one that voted against the Ripple lawsuit. Of course, it was Jay Clayton, another Republican, who said, yes, let's go for it. And there was more stuff behind this than probably any of us will realize. Jeff and I called it and said it's probably the quickest way to clarity. People called us morons, idiots. What do we know? And guess what? We were right. We didn't know it'd be 2.5 years later. I never thought it would drag on that long, but we were right, because the only coin out there aside from Bitcoin, because nobody knows, believe me, if Satoshi Nakamoto was discovered tomorrow, the SEC would be knocking at their door that day. Okay, they'd find some reason to have a problem with Satoshi, and the fact is that XRP is not a security, and it's the only one we know of, at least in the U.S. on the SEC side. And she brings up this point. She said she started in 2018, and that summer they had the first Bitcoin exchange traded product come before us as a commission. Think about this, Jeff. This is 6 years ago, almost 5.5 years ago. And then I thought back, which is quite a long time ago now, we should have said yes to it. Of course. Look where we'd be today if they would have said yes back then. What will the agency say to applications now pending to the Ethereum spot ETFs? And she's like, I'm sure this is where she goes into the lawyer speak. I know, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to use a lawyer's answer, say it's under consideration, SEC. But truthfully, it doesn't matter what she says about it. Gary Gensler, this is why I like, what is it? Is it Warren Davidson's bill that eliminates the position of a chairman or a chairperson on that committee, and it goes to a panel? This is what you have to have. Forget about one guy driving the anti-crypto stance who is Elizabeth Warren's best friend. We don't need this. I mean, how does this help and they always want to seem to erase, if you have to become a certified investor. What do they call that? I just did something, Jeff.
I don't know how you do that. It happens every so often. It's the funniest thing ever. When you see those things go off, you do happens once a show.
This, and it's Italian to me, Jeff, talking with the hands. I'm always with the hands all the time. It's very strange. That's why I can never have, whenever I talk on the phone, I have to have earphones in, because I'm doing this when I'm talking to somebody. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, you're an accredited investor. That's what I was about to say that too. Alchemist beat me to the punch. An accredited investor, and they're making it more difficult. That was Gary Gensler wanted to make it more difficult for individual investors to invest pre-IPO.
They don't want the little guy to succeed. And the one avenue that you could get into with really no friction points, aside from learning, right, and understanding how to buy it, how to put it in a cold storage wallet. But all of a sudden, they just always want to make it hard. They're always, the SEC protects institutional investors. They don't protect the regular investor, and that's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to, do the regular investors. They also say, like, one of the many complaints in crypto industry at the SEC is the agency is using enforcement actions, like suing crypto companies like Ripple, Coinbase, Library. Peirce, who speaks regularly at crypto events and finds a sympathetic audience for her critics, blasted the SEC for acting after the fact rather than establishing a clear regulatory guideline. This is the problem that they're unable to do. They can't establish a clear regulatory guideline because only Congress can. And so I hear people in Congress saying, you have to create a guideline. No, that's your job, Congress. Get off your ass. I mean, here we go, Jeff. We had over a year. We had 14 months of a red Congress who's done jack squat for crypto. Just a bunch of rhinos, Republicans, name only, doing bullshit.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting too. You know, I thought we'd see a lot better bills hit the floor. There were a couple, but they, you know, and I think one moved to the Senate. You know, but then they just die in the Senate, and I think that's a big part of it too. But you know, overall, what we're seeing, you know, with that type of commentary is that, you know, the regulator, you know, the SEC can only operate within the guidelines of the law that, and you know, that's permitted to them. So they can create a guideline based on the legal structure, the infrastructure. Now, if there is no clear guidance, you know, from a legal perspective, from a law perspective, how do they create the guidelines at that point? You know, that means that they're now going to be writing the laws in terms of how we can or cannot operate. And that's where, if we go back to the Token Taxonomy Act, under, you know, that Warren Davidson had put in front of Congress multiple times. And, you know, we saw that, and that was kind of amending the different rules that were on the books, specifically specifying some clarity of path, you know, and we're talking about laws that were written back in 1933 and 1934, and some IRS rules that were written back in the 80s, like 1986, you know, and so, you know, if they're trying to address that and just amend it, make just this minor change, and it puts us on the right path. But think about it, he was working on that back in like 2018, 2019, 2018. So we're talking about 6 years, and we could think of where we'd be today, and what Gary Gensler, you know, he would be operating within a framework. And then they could say, hey, you know, Gary, why aren't you writing the guidelines? We gave you everything you needed, right? Here's the path for crypto. But Congress didn't do that. Congress couldn't do that because they had Maxine Waters at the time that just had a completely different agenda, and she didn't want to give it the time of day. But now we have someone that could give it the time of day, but then you would have a Senate that probably wouldn't pass it. You know, so they're like looking at, you know, where are we at this point? And so why does Hester Peirce though go back to Gary as the culprit? Instead of, you know, she should know. I mean, she sits on the board, and she could point back to Congress, say, look, we can only do what we can do, which is probably why, you know, the SEC has taken this approach of going to a court structure to get some sort of outcome, because they know they can't write the rules. You know, he can't even provide guideline because Gary said it's clear. The guidelines are clear. Then he goes to court, and the court says, well, I don't think it was really that clear. And then all of a sudden, XRP's outcome is that it was not a security, even though Gary in the beginning said it's clearly a security.
Yeah,
and then it's not a security.
One of their top litigators at the SEC left and went to a crypto company because they see the writings on the wall. It's like,
I know,
you know, if you ever had been in a position where you're in sales, you have to sell something you don't believe in. It's like they have to go litigate against something that they don't truly believe, because maybe they own crypto themselves and they go, this is ludicrous. So their top litigator, and they've been bailing like crazy, and they want to attract a crop of new attorneys to come in. They go, but you can't hold any digital assets. Well, wait, right. You want my expertise because I know the digital realm, but I'm not allowed to own it. So what do you think you're going to do? Vote Dean, right on.
That's what you're going to do. What are you going to do? That's exactly what you're going to do. If you're in Massachusetts area, guess who you're going to vote for? You are going to vote for John Deaton, and you're going to remove Elizabeth Warren because she's one of those senators that are standing in your way. If you want some crypto normalcy, you want some normalcy in the markets, guess who you got to remove? You got to remove those that are standing in the way. They're kind of like just like a brick wall. And Elizabeth Warren is a brick wall standing in your way to crypto success, crypto innovation, development in this space, making sure that the U.S. Establishes a clear path towards leadership in the development of the space, not other countries. We don't want to see other countries taking the leadership role because we're here in the U.S. We prefer to have the U.S. having a seat. Other countries can have a seat at the table too, but this is where it is very, very key. All of the things that we're referencing and talking about. I just want to throw this up because I thought it was kind of interesting. Little back and forth here with Monkey Business. What if Jeff Bezos partners with Elon Musk on Doge? And then Crypto Navigator said he doesn't think that's going to happen. Doge doesn't have a network like IBM Hyperledger, Linux, or Cortisettler to settle, or they would have to use one of these anyways. And then the feedback comeback here was Crypto Navigator saying that his prediction is X.com payments will be on the XLM because they're a partner with USDC, and that makes the most sense. What do you think? Is X, because X is moving in the payment space and probably will happen rapidly, do you think that they might use their own stable coin environment, or are they going to try to build something on the XLM?
They'll probably build
on the
something.
Stellar Foundation.
I think they would leverage something first. I mean, it makes the most sense. But who was it that brought? Was it who was that brought up Deon? Who was that we just threw up there? Oh, Alchemist.
Yeah.
So let's put this back up. So thank you for bringing that up, Alchemist, because I wanted to put this up here. This is John Deon right here with none other than the man, Charles Hoskinson. And Charles said, I'm supporting John Deon for Senate against Senator Warren. We need people who value and support our industry representing us. And you can see he's there with John Deon with his book, Stamp Warrior.
Who's that with him? Who is that?
It's Hoskinson. He runs a product
Oh, there
called
he is.
Cardano.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Heard of him, but this is a great endorsement in the crypto industry. You know, John's got the brass knuckle on his chains right there, and you read the book, you'll know more about that. He says, I appreciate the support by a very important voice. Yep. And Charles Hoskinson, freedom is on the line.
It is.
And
it's awesome.
He's running against this nut job right here. Look at this, $13,000 per hour. That's the amount of unpaid taxes the IRS has found by auditing the ultra rich who made over $10 million in 2022. Funding the IRS to track down wealthy tax cheats pays off big time. And I'm like,
maybe she should look at herself.
I said, well, how about we initiate an audit to trace the origins of your 80 million? Let's get on that. Let's go. I mean, let's get everybody in the crypto community start tracing through how did she become on a $400,000 salary? Where did she make that many strategic investments? Did she amass $80 million? Let's find out what's really behind Elizabeth Warren. Let's find out why she's going hard at crypto and really supporting all the institutional. And I think there's something behind it. Here's Deon 2024. You got to put that. People in Massachusetts, please, for all that's good and holy, please have some sense, man. Come on now. It's unbelievable, Jeff.
That's right. It is unbelievable. Check that out. Bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bing. Look at this right here, Jeff. So I was talking a little bit about that.
You know what that means? Subscribe on both Rumble and YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You know what? That's what it looks like on YouTube. It looks a little different over on Rumble. It says follow. It doesn't say subscribe. It says follow. And then I don't think there's a bell notification. There probably is one somehow when you follow. Then you can even join on Rumble, which is kind of cool. I'm trying to build that audience, the community. We need that in the thousands over there on Rumble. That'd be kick-ass.
Well, this is an exciting development for Zaman. The multi-sign X app public beta ended. Now the X app is available to all who use all Zaman users. Take your digital asset security to the next level.
Yes.
So I want to break down a little bit of this. So the recent events in the XRPL ecosystem have shown us all about the paramount security and key management are. Having identified the need and worked on more advanced security solutions for the past months, we're happy to breathe some optimistic air back into the ecosystem by announcing our latest addition for safeguarding your assets, the multi-sign X app. So it's called multi-sign. I'm going to just highlight this one area down here. So shared account management. So you can create a shared account on the XRPL linked to a specific multi-signature configuration. Majority-based decisions. So transactions require approval from a predefined majority of key holders. It could be family members in a company. It could be, officers of the company. So that not one person could just basically take off with crypto holdings. Flexible security configs. You can customize the signer configuration according to your needs, balancing security and convenience. So it's actually really very cool. A lot of thought went in this. This is really solid. So high net worth, ideal for securing large amounts of assets on the XRPL. You have trusted third parties. If you do have reliable entities, it divides to hold the other key pairs. And then you want to trade usability for security. While the X app is still good usability, it's a choice for those who prioritize enhanced security for assets over speed. Yeah, you're going to move, 1 million XRP. You have maybe two other people that have got to sign on. You set the rules on it and how to do it. it's got the security, it's distributed governance, so it can be distributed, and then there's trust and collaboration. You can also prevent loss. Multisig allows you to access your funds when a key is lost or compromised, or the other signers are if the other signers are accessible. So there is some backups to it. I don't know what happens in the event of a death, but anyway, I think that's a really big development in the industry. So if you're using Zaman, you want to go over there and look at that. Highly recommend it. Good job. Nice job by Weeds' team and putting that together.
Really great.
That's it. We're at time, Jeff. What do you say about that?
Yeah. That's what I got to say.
It's back down to
63 cents. That's the
54.
1 year line. Look at that. That's it's interesting. You look at this though, in the last commentary on that, there you were at 37 cents back in March of 2023. So 1 year ago, we're sitting at 37 cents.
Oh, so there you go.
And then you got that. That right there at the precipice is January 3rd of 2018. Can't get to the actual the highest point of it, but I can get to the $3.22 on January 3rd. I think January 4th, it was at that 360 or whatever it was. And then look at the rest of the world, the rest of the journey that we had on that one. And there it is. And here we sit. So that's when you zoom out on some of these things and you go to their max.
Scroll a little bit because it does tell you the all-time high somewhere in there in those stats on the left side. Scroll.
It's there somewhere.
Just scroll. It tells you what it is. It'll tell you what the all-time high.
Here. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's here. 340. But I think it went over 340 though. I don't know. I don't think 340.
Glitches though, I think that happened in Asia, something like that. I think it was 380 or something. Bottom line is, if it goes to 340, you're gonna have people ecstatic, and all the negativity and stuff going on. And look at Flare. Flare's been doing a pretty good job. It's kind of settling back down, but hey,
this is a tight range right here, though. If you think about like the last 24-hour range between 58 cents and 64, and XRP always seemed to like move like that. It always hovered in this tight spot. Even when it was in that 24 cents, it'll pull back to 18, go to 24, go to 27, pull back a little bit, and it kept inching up. And I think it just seemed just historically, not looking at any chart, just like the historic movement of the asset, like the turtle, just slow and steady. And it just hits those little movements unless the market turns completely bearish and red and bleeding all over the place.
Yeah,
but if it continues moving.
Jeff. Come on, Jeffy, let's get there. $3.84. There you go, Norseman. Also, I want to say a big shout out to Norseman. Thank you for that support. Every bit helps. When we read people go like, oh, I joined to talk about crypto. Yeah, I understand that. Right. But also, how we support this show another way, buy one of our coffee. You guys get the benefit. If you're not like someone like an OG like a Norseman who's always done a great job of contributing, and others in this space who listen, we have podcasting software. There's stuff that we have to pay for that contributes to the Badass Yetis, another one that helps as well. So there you have it.
And if you feel like you're like, I don't get my notifications on YouTube, I want to get an easy way to find them. I want to hear the audio. I don't have, it wasn't able to tune in and I'm in the car and I don't feel like trying to scroll through YouTube. I want to find their live podcasts, and then guess what? You just go to onthechain.io. If you scroll to the bottom of it, you can go email address, full name, join the OTC family. It's free to do that. You can also support us through here if you want. But what happens when you get that access and you join the family, the only thing we email is every time we finish one of these shows, we put it all together, packaged real neatly, kind of like this. And then what you're going to see is that you have an opportunity to listen to the show and your podcast streaming software of your choice, app of your choice. You can go back and watch it. For some reason, Rumble doesn't always play nice over here. So we have the YouTube link. So you can go back, watch it on YouTube. You can go say, hey, you know what? I want to get some of that coffee. You'll find the coffee. I want to go check out an NFT. What are they doing in the NFT world? Go over there. You can get an NFT. Then you can go through all the different articles that we've put together to talk about that show. Some of them we get to, some of them we don't. Some of them we just talk through and we don't show them. But check it out. And you're like, I saw them pull it up. I really wanted to see it and share it with somebody. And there you go. So go to onthechain.io right now and go hit that registration at the bottom. You can do it over here. You can support us through here if you want. Like I said, just scroll to the bottom, put it in, And that'll be a great way for you guys to stay in touch and get up to date. Even if you don't make it to the live show, it's really awesome.
Right on,
Really,
Jeff.
really awesome. And the answer is yes. If you own a badass Yeti, Blue Yeti, you do get a discount on the coffee. If you go over to the Discord, we can walk you through it right over on the Discord. You just search up the badass Yetis on Discord, join us on Discord, and it's very, very cool. Very, very cool. And you get some discounts. So
Check
that's
out the
it.
coffee. We recommend the whole bean. That
Yep.
way it's fresh and you grind it when you're making it. If you sometimes I'll grind up usually 2 or 3 days ahead of time and put in a air locked container because it gets to be a little much on the, and that's the way I do it. It's awesome.
That's it. This is a topic for tomorrow night. We'll see where XRP sits tomorrow night, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll pick up Dr. Rick. What are people manipulating XRP and what breaks 69 cents? We'll talk about that tomorrow night. That'll be really interesting. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday. Saturday mornings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys see the theme? 8 p.m., 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings. It's real easy to follow. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's how it works, Chip. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturday mornings, 8 a.m.
Tonight is our 600th podcast. Stop by. A little celebration. We're going to give some badass Yetis. Just before we leave, let's show this.
Oh, yeah. Giving them away.
You guys see
We're
the Biden?
Giving them away, Chip.
You see this, Jeff?
Man, also known as the worst president in United States history, loves ice cream, lounging on beaches, and sniffing children. Joe.
Who is me?
There you go.
Oh, my God. Come on.
So there you go. There you have it. Thought I'd play that as a little fun. A little bit of a funny there, but there you have it.
What coffee would you suggest for someone that drinks Colombian coffee? What kind of coffee though? I mean, a Colombian is it like, are you making like traditional Colombian, kind of like dark and rich? I'd recommend the Obsidian Bold.
Yeah,
but it's Colombian in this case more of, are you going with a medium roast? Or are you going with a dark roast? If you go with a medium roast, I would step down from the Obsidian, probably go to the Noir, or maybe, if you like a lighter roast, go to the breakfast blend. But the Obsidian is really nice. Grind it up, get the beans, grind it up, put it into your coffee maker of choice, and it's really awesome. There you go.
And it kind of tells you right in the description too a little bit about it. This here harmonious fusion of dark and medium roast, but this one's if you like a nice strong coffee, Mountain Mist isn't your. If you like sort of like a almost like just a blend between the two, this is good. The breakfast blend is more of a lighter sort of a coffee. Some people like that in the morning too, but this is your one right here. Jeff was saying the Obsidian Bold. That's got some punch, man. That's good. It's a very good one.
Go to badassyetiscoffee.com. Badassyetiscoffee.com.
Yeah, Sweet. You can always copy and paste that in there. But I'm going to put this Bold in there, so if you want to just go directly there, you can do that. Check that out.
Oh yeah,
and
just there you go. And if you go over to, if you have a Badass Yetis, a blue Badass Yeti, you go over to the Discord, you can verify it, and then there's a link for the coffee, or to the Blue Tribe will open up, and depending on the number of Blue Tribes that you have, will give you different discounts. So it's very cool.
Some tips around like what whole bean tough guys on the coffee world, pure, unbroken, untapped potential. You need a coffee grinder though. The drip coffee, what the fine ground is, and then the coarse. So you have the different choices up here. And we're going to add some K cups. But listen, honestly, I would really recommend best value is to get the refillables. And I've gone a little bit further. I actually buy the filters now because you pop them out, you just rinse it. It's super easy because sometimes getting that stuff, especially if you don't clean it right away, it gets a little hard and you got to sit there and kind of, that's bull. I just have a little filter, go knock it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice. And with the reusable one, it makes a single cup. But I noticed the coffee maker that they had at that Airbnb, there was different levels, so you could adjust the strength of the outcome of the coffee and the heat and everything. But you had to remove the holder that held the K cup, take that out, and put the other one in. It's very, very cool, very easy. And that's it. Beyond Crypto. Very good discussions. Have a good one, crew. That's it. Oh, this is a good point too. Look at Alchemist is bringing up the Bitcoin halving. And I kind of I agree with what Alchemist is saying here. Bitcoin is and will continue to drag everything up. The entire market is tied to Bitcoin, and it's just I haven't seen a separation of the markets. You know, Bitcoin is kind of the epicenter. I mean, you might see some of the meme coins up and down, you know, big numbers, but the market as a whole, when you see all this green as an overall, Bitcoin seems to be at the epicenter, or at the precipice, the pole.
I want to show. So I want to show what I was talking about here. Here we go. There you can go. You can buy 4 of these bad boys.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep.
They're $8.50. Okay, invest in that, and then you can go ahead and
your own coffee.
They have these little filters. The filters just sort of pop right in there. You put the filter in there, just like that. You can see it right there in this top one over here. Get one of these bad boys. You throw it in there like that. It's phenomenal. And Jeff, you know,
squeezy.
And there's also a tool for that. I don't know if I can find the tool, but coffee. Let me see if I can find this. See if I can pull this up. Let's see where. Oh, yeah, of course. This makes it even easier. This, Jeff, because I have to have the tool too. So I grind a little bit up for a couple days, and then I take this tool right here. Look at this right here.
What is that tool? What are you doing?
Look at that.
Oh, that's your filling tool.
That's my filling tool. So what you do is you take this bad boy, you close it up, you scoop it, and then it's got a little sort of a funnel at the end. Watch this. This is what I do. Of course, I don't have that big of a thing, but you kind of scoop it up like that. And I don't know why he's going so slow. It takes 3 seconds. Scoop, close the top.
Trying to make a point.
And look at this. Done.
It's like
when I used to use a spoon,
like
it would
a
get
cement mixer.
all over
Sweet.
the place. So yeah, I've got the little tool, and I don't know what that puppy costs, but it's definitely worth it. $15. There you go. But that little tool is like magic, man. It's just fantastic, that little tool.
Magic. It's like XRP.
Just magical, man. There you go. We are out of here. See you guys.
John came in too late. Good morning. Good morning. Have a good day. That's it.
A lot about coffee today, but that happens. Tomorrow, join us for our 600th episode podcast. We're going to be giving away badass Yetis. Come on.
What? Come in and experience, have fun, and get some giveaways. 600th episode. Damn,
yes,
that's crazy.
That's it.
Give us some love.
On the next one, Chip and Jeff. Say it, Jeff.
Chip, Jeff. Ow!
Welcome to On the Chain.
Wrong one, Jeff. I need a better shout. Now do it like put some energy into that.
All right, that's it, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jeff, Chip, out. Let's get out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.